And we're joined once again with Jason Mitchell, the CEO of HempFusion. It feels like quite literally just a few days ago, we were speaking about your company and really going over a good corporate overview of what's been going on, the different things that have been happening with you and your company, but especially with Apothecanna, that acquisition. For any investor right now, you can look up there. There's a little eye. You click on that, it'll go right back to the interview where we go over all of those things. But in the very end, when you were saying to investors what they should be excited about, one of the things you had mentioned was Apothecanna was a fantastic acquisition, but there's more to come. At the time, I did not realize you quite literally meant just over a week later, you would have another one with Sagely Naturals. I'd love to start off there, my good sir. First off, welcome. And second off, I'd love to hear, what does this acquisition mean for HempFusion and everyone in your company?
Thanks for having me back, Brandon. And yeah, I did mean that last week, and it's obviously because I knew something that no one else knew, other than our internal workings of our company and working through that process. Yeah, M&A still remains a very serious part of our business and the way that we look at things. But what this acquisition in particular means to us, very similar to Apothecanna, is it's not just an opportunity to bolt on revenue. That really wasn't the focus. That just isn't. I mean, yes, while that is a good thing, I mean, when these deals are closed, the company entity will be 3 times larger than it was without them, and so we will literally triple our revenue with closing these 2 acquisitions in the past 10 days, based on 2020 run rate revenue. And that's all wonderful. That's great. Revenue's awesome, but we have to look beyond that, because that's a moment in time as opposed to what does the future hold. Because when we acquire this company, it's a part of our company forever now, right? Like, so we look at synergy. What is it about the company that is so amazing that made it attractive to us? But I also want to know that the organization that we're acquiring is also attracted to what we bring to the table. I mean, literally, Sagely Naturals and Apothecanna are almost entirely, well, in Sagely's case, they have a couple of ingestible products, but they're almost entirely a topical company, and same with Apothecanna. It allows us an opportunity to really take all of this investment from human and physical and capital investment that we've put into regulatory preparedness, and be able to install an award-winning, industry-leading ingestible program for both of these companies, using something that we know will be based on what is about to come on the heels of, Senate Bill 1698 or HR 841 that's currently in Congress, that's going to basically say what the rules are with CBD. Well, guess what? We can install this program in these companies and help them grow as well. It's not just about giving them capital to build their businesses. It's not just about bolting on the revenue. It's about the synergy. It's about building something bigger. A year ago, I called it out to my team and I said, consolidation is inevitable in CBD. This industry cannot support 3,500 brands. And there aren't even 3,500 good brands. And so, it was just an important piece. And Sagely Naturals, what's unique about them, different than Apothecanna, is they're the largest woman-owned and woman-founded company focused on women's health. And really, I thought, what a unique opportunity to really expand to an entirely different market that wasn't something that we are specifically catering to. And it's such an important piece of our business too.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you don't mind, I'd like to speak on one thing specifically, and that's, you spoke about bolting on revenue. And in the past, many companies, and this is how you grow, a lot of companies, that they'll start acquiring other companies. We saw it a lot in cannabis and different things. This is something that's been in the works for a long amount of time. This isn't something to do with your share price. This isn't something to do with what you think. This is something that you've been working on, hunting for, and really building upon before being announced it today. Can you discuss a little bit about what happened to lead into this? You said they were searching for you, which is great to see, but how long have you been working on this project for?
So both Apothecanna and Sagely Naturals, we started working on both acquisitions about 8 months ago. And so this was before we were even public. We were already in conversations with them. It's really important to understand that while I understand there is a strategy out there saying, well, if I can't get organic revenue fast enough, I'm just going to go buy it. And that's fine. I guess that's a strategy for some. And I've said in some of my interviews as well that I said, I wish my shareholders and everybody would just be patient. Just be patient. We're working a strategy that was put in place 2 years ago. And it's something that we refined even further last year with setting our course and setting our focus totally on making sure that this company is an award-winning, very expansive company with amazing distribution. I mean, the combination of these two acquisitions takes the distributed store count to somewhere over 15,000 bricks and mortar locations as an entity. I would argue we might possibly have the largest distribution into bricks and mortar. And as I've also mentioned in the past, we're investing heavily in digital. We have every intent and purposes of dominating the industry in CBD, but doing it the right way. And yes, patience is required. I tell people in my team, do it right and not always right away. But this has been in the works for a long time. And again, I'll say it again to you, even though I said it last time, this won't be our last. It's very strategically, we are looking at things, and they won't always just be CPG companies. We're trying to focus on building a very well-rounded and balanced company that's going to be envied. So
I think investors are going to take that line very seriously now. When you say this won't be our last, who knows? We'll be speaking again next week for all I know. But when it comes to the combined entity, you said something around 1,500 stores. I can only imagine
15,000 stores.
Forgive me, 15,000 stores. I can only imagine you get some more online presence from this as well. What are those first steps in integrating this company? Will you start having HempFusion products immediately start going to the stores that they are in, or are you going to continue running their operations and build within and just shore up and make a greater synergy between your managerial teams as well? What would that look like for an investor who's curious about that?
Absolutely. Very good question, actually. So integration is key. We manage our company in a very different way. I have a little thing that I tell my team. Leaders lead and dictators get overthrown. And so we don't dictate. See, we acquired these companies because we believed in what they were already, and our hopes are that they could make us better in certain areas, and we can make them better in certain areas, whether it be through technology and intellectual property, market share, or personnel or cash capital, or all the things that we come together and build together. And so integration takes time and patience, and it's important. I mean, honestly, nothing will change with these two entities right out of the gate. We will again work together strategically to make the most opportunistic changes. Now, it won't be just an egotistical thing to say, oh, okay, with all that distribution you guys have, Sagely and Apothecanna, get HempFusion in there. No, I'm going to try to work on how can HempFusion install something in them that will allow them to expand larger than they are now. And perhaps there are things they're doing that maybe we need that would otherwise give us an ability to expand as well. It is truly the epitome of synergy. I did not want to acquire any company that was just simply dollars of revenue that we could just say, okay, that's mine. If you want to play the mine game, like just bring it all under one roof, but have no plan for what's next. What if they're heading in the wrong direction? See, we're looking directionally saying, that's a winning team. That's a winning team. We have a winning team. We bring these winning teams together, and I think we can grow differently and in a very inspired fashion. And it's very important to me that there is heart and meaning in what we do. It isn't just money. I'm not motivated by money. I'm motivated by successfully working through winning a particular channel. That's all I want to do. Because if we win, consumers win too, because they get great products.
Yeah, well, it's very excited to hear, Jason, and I appreciate breaking that down a little bit more because when you bring on a company, when you acquire a company, absolutely, you want to make sure it's not just the revenue, it's not just the distribution. Those things are very, very good to have. Absolutely, it's the synergy and the potential synergies that you can create with that. So, thank you very much once again for your time, and again for any investors watching this. At the top of this, you'll see that little bar again. You can go back to all the previous interviews that we've done with Jason and his team. I highly recommend it because if you investing in a company, you should always know as much as you can about them and stay informed with them as they grow, which is why you're here, Jason. Thank you very much and look forward to speaking with you again very soon as well.
Thanks a lot, Brad. Appreciate you having me.